Thanks, you too. Like last year, the ARA rally had this prologue event, or like a special stage. It was like the preview to the Over Mountain Rally. And they had this prologue event at Newport Speedway, Tennessee, an asphalt short track. They had a little stage, special stage, or a little course or whatever set up, just to do like a time trial. You go single car run, and there was a little dirt jump on the front stretch, and it looked great. It looked like a great time. It looked like a great festival. Something that people can go out to, see all the cars up close, shake hands with the drivers. It was a cool festival, and the stage rally stuff, there's a lot of grassroots people, real people with their sportsmen, racers with their cars, their hobby car, like that they go rally racing with. It's not just a spectator sport, it's an enthusiast sport too. I just thought that looked so cool, and it reminded me of kind of the beginning of the old GRC at some of these tracks, with a course that was like a real rally car centered course instead of a makeshift thing. There's an entry point, there's a starting point if you go to that, and if you're a fan of it, and how do I get started, how do I become this one day? It's not just, you gotta bring a paycheck to the spec supercar lights class, and it's like, huh? You actually have an entry point on the car side. So if anything can take off with the young folk, do this where rally is already big, or wherever there's these Subaru car shows. You have that autocross like course. You can just do one-on-one, one-by-one time trials kind of stuff, and then give a trophy to the winner or whatever, who has the best time. And if that picks up and gets more popular over and over at all these Subaru car shows around, then we can start having like bracket racing, and expand that to like 4 cars on the track at once. And you have to grow something organically. You have to have a grassroots sport. You can't just import a bunch of cars that have absolutely no connection, that are totally spec, and there's no way any of us mere mortals can get behind the wheel or even touch or see one of these things up close. Names of drivers we don't know anything about, never heard of, and can't pronounce, and have no connection to, didn't meet. It's just, you can't have like a sport built right from the top, put it behind a paywall, expect people somehow to know that it even is happening, let alone spend the money and reserve their weekend that they were probably planning on doing something else, whatever else they have been doing for the last, 10 years since the GRC was even really running. You just can't really build a sport from top down and expect people to magically show up and big sponsors to show up. Big sponsors are doing other stuff. I feel like just keep it core, but have it be really accessible in person and virtually, and just, the drivers and the people on social media, they can market themselves, and you market them too. Don't restrict their filming or what they can post. Just get as much content out there and just make this cool event. Grow something from the ground up. That's what I feel like rallycross can do. Grow it from the ground up with cool cars, doing cool stuff. And you too can do it if you're into this stuff. If you have one of these cars that you're into, that you like to tinker with, that you go to car shows with. I just just feel like you gotta take any kind of racing sport, really build a solid foundation. Look at Champ Off-Road, all the stuff, all the short course off-road stuff. I can touch on this later another time, but the grassroots people, the sportsman racers, they're like cockroaches. They can get nuked and they never die. All the different series changes we've seen over the years, and they're still at Crandon every Labor Day. There's still a place like Bark River, and Anna goes back, and all these places in Wisconsin, they're still racing. Even if there's only like 5 Pro 4 trucks out there, you still have sportsmen out there. We had the West Coast was really booming with Lucas Oil. A whole nother topic, but I started watching like Torque on speed, Lucas Oil on speed. And the car counts dropped to, we used to have like 20 trucks and they used to send home Pro Lights in like 2013 Lucas. They had like 25 entries, they had to send some home. Pro 2 even had like a full 20 truck field. And the fields just started thinning out. It was so expensive to keep these things up. These trucks are expensive, and with that kind of spending and that kind of sophistication technically, you gotta have big sponsors coming in and big money coming in, and if all that isn't really coming in, all those series from a top level just isn't really worth it anymore. But like if you have a solid foundation, grassroots, that's how we still have something going on year round, or all year, all summer in the Midwest. There's always that sportsman foundation there, so find out a way to make that possible in rallycross. I feel like there you can finally have something that might be sustainable. Why not just have a different rallycross series every 2 years, show up and go down, show up and go down. Maybe a different name or sanctioning or whatever, but we'll have like the same thing, the same basic product every year. Because we've had Torque, the Lucas Oil Midwest League, Champ Off-Road, before that was it WSORR, DeSoto Series. There's always been something. Now on the West Coast there's nothing after Lucas Oil, and then Great American Short Course kind of folded up, and then the whole Mid-America debacle a little bit, whatever 2 years ago that was, that never even got off the ground. So the West, there hasn't been anything there for a while. There was times in years where there was absolutely no rallycross races in the USA between ARX and Nitro. Or then maybe that was the COVID year, but I don't know. GRC, then ARX, then Nitro Cross, and then Nitro Cross went all electric, and then they folded, and then it's kind of uncertainty. Now there's this Rally X Americas thing, and still a lot of uncertainty, and there's just more times that we're not racing, and I feel like there's more canceled races than there are races being held. More times I'm thinking about rallycross than I'm actually watching a rallycross. More times that I'm imagining a race going on than they're actually seeing a race going on. So that's all.